There is a kind of power that not come from social skills or impression strategies, but from something much simpler. She belongs to herself. Carl Jung once reminded us that when a person stops chasing recognition, when they stop living for external approval, they begin to touch the depths of their inner world. And from there, a steady, quiet yet powerful energy radiates. The confident woman doesn't need to say much or do much. Her presence is like an invisible heartbeat, changing the entire room, pulling people in without them knowing why. I once met such a woman at a seminar. She was neither the speaker nor a distinguished guest. She sat in the back row, wearing a simple shirt, not standing out at all. Yet when my eyes passed over her, I stopped instantly. Not because of appearance, but because of the calm that emanated from her. Every gesture was slow, deliberate, and radiated an unusual steadiness. After that day, I heard many people whispering about the same thing. I don't know why, but she was so captivating. And that proves that true confidence does not lie in talking more, doing more, or showing off more. It comes from being fully present in your true self. Imagine a confident woman like a mountain. A mountain does not need to move to prove its magnificence. It simply stands there, silent and unmoving, yet anyone who looks up feels overwhelmed. The wind may howl, storms may rage, but eventually all pass. The mountain remains, not needing to prove itself, yet commanding reverence. The confident woman is the same. Her presence is not loud, not showy, but leaves the deepest impression. In Jungian psychology, the archetype of the queen embodies this quality. A true queen does not need a crown for anyone to confirm she reigns. Her throne is within. And precisely because she needs no proof, she is untouchable. A woman carrying the queen archetype does not rush, does not compete, does not flaunt. She knows her worth. and the world naturally revolves around that knowing. In today's society, we are easily swept into the whirlwind of showing off. Social media constantly encourages us to display achievements, appearances, happiness. People live as if value only exists when someone else witnesses it. But those who truly inspire admiration are the ones who don't need to reveal too much. They can enter a room without saying, "Look at me." It is their silence that makes others turn. And this is not arrogance, nor a power play. On the contrary, it is profound humility when you no longer need external lights to shine because you have found the light within yourself. Carl Jung once wrote, "Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes." When you stop seeking external approval and turn inward, your presence becomes clear, steady, and undeniable. The confident woman does not try to stand out. She does not get caught up in the game of proving worth, for she has grasped the truth that she is already worthy. From there, energy flows naturally, not loud, not forced, yet powerful enough to make everyone pause and listen. And remember, presence without display is not about pretending to be quiet to attract attention. It is not a strategy, but the natural result of having found safety within. If you are still chasing validation from others, your silence is just a mask. Only when you truly connect with yourself will your presence carry the power to shift a space. So, to embody presence without display, you must first turn inward. Ask yourself, what makes me feel at peace without anyone's confirmation? When that answer rises from deep within, you will see your presence take on a new strength. And the interesting thing is, others will notice too, even if you say nothing. That presence does not come from acting skills, but from an inner life that has been nourished and healed. Have you ever encountered a woman who didn't need to be loud, didn't need to flaunt, yet still captured your attention and left you unforgettable? Share in the comments that moment, because perhaps you have touched the very secret energy Jung spoke of. Number 2, reconciling with the shadow. If the first strength of a confident woman comes from presence without display, the next secret lies in a place few dare to touch, the inner shadow. We grow up in a world that glorifies light, success, smiles, perfection. But Carl Jung once emphasized, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. No one truly matures by chasing only bright things. Light only has meaning when we dare to face the dark, where weaknesses, jealousy, pain, and anger dwell, all the fragments we once denied. A confident woman is not someone who has never been hurt. On the contrary, she is one who has walked through pain, faced it, and learned to turn it into part of a mature self. This reconciliation creates a different energy: authenticity, safety, trustworthiness. A woman who once went through a broken marriage shared her story with the channel. In the beginning, she always tried to appear strong, always smiled in front of others as if she was fine. But behind closed doors, she was exhausted, suffered, but embraces her wounds instead of denying them, radiates warmth that makes others feel safe. And it is this honesty that is the secret energy. When you no longer have to hide a part of yourself, you become a place others can trust. If you pay attention, you will see that you are often drawn to those who dare to live authentically. Not because they are perfect, but because they don't pretend. Being with them makes you feel that you too have the right not to be perfect. That is the power of a woman who has reconciled with her shadow. She becomes a mirror of authenticity, liberating others. Remember, the shadow is not your enemy. It is only the forgotten part of you. Anger shows that something has crossed your limit. Jealousy reveals your fear of loss. Weakness shows that you need love and care. When you look directly at these parts, you're no longer controlled by them, but instead turn them into strength for growth. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. If you do not face the shadow, it will guide you unconsciously, turning into repetitive relationships, nameless pain, and behaviors you don't understand why you do. But when you dare to name and embrace it, the shadow becomes part of a mature self. Therefore, the confident woman does not try to erase the shadow. She knows that light is only brilliant when darkness is beside it. And it is this reconciliation that gives her a special energy, safety. People trust her because they feel that with her, they will not be judged, nor forced to be perfect. You can begin this journey with a very small step. Write down the emotions you once hid. Don't rush to fix them. Just acknowledge them. When you can look at them without running away, you are already taking a big step on the road of inner growth. A woman who has reconciled with her shadow is no longer controlled by the past. She carries within her an authentic energy that makes anyone near feel safe. That is why men often remember such a woman, not because she is perfect, but because she makes them feel they can be themselves. And from this authenticity, a secret energy is born. Energy does not come from bright things, but from daring to befriend the dark. Number 3, adaptive power. It is reconciliation and the courage to face the shadow that make the confident woman authentic, someone others feel safe with. But that alone is not enough, for life is always changing, and there will be times when unexpected upheavals come knocking. So what allows a woman to remain confident and radiate magnetism even when the world is shaken? The answer is adaptive power. Since ancient times, humans have feared change. We often cling to what is familiar, a stable job, a safe relationship, routines repeated daily. But the world never stands still. A sudden event can arrive without warning, a career shift, a broken love, declining health. For many, this is the beginning of collapse. But for a confident woman, change is not an end, but a new doorway. She does not try to control everything. She believes she has the ability to adapt. Here, we need to clarify one thing. True confidence is not rigidity. It is not maintaining a fixed image under every circumstance. On the contrary, true confidence is the ability to be flexible, soft, yet without losing one's essence. Think of water. Water can seep through cracks in rock, mix with soil, evaporate into clouds, fall again as rain, flow into streams, and eventually reach the sea. Water transforms constantly, but its essence remains. No matter what form, water is still water. A confident woman is the same. She can change, adapt, and shift with circumstances, yet her center remains intact. This is not weakness, but soft strength, the very strength that allows her to stand firm in storms. I recall the story of a friend who had worked in media for more than 10 years, established and respected, her life seemingly stable. Yet one day, her company unexpectedly dissolved. Colleagues panicked, many despaired, some completely lost direction. But she chose another way. She gave herself a month to rest, reflect, and then began learning about digital technology, a field she had never considered before. 6 months later, she co-founded a startup with a group of young people. She did not cling to the past, nor fear the future. It was precisely this adaptability that made others admire her. She was never defeated, only knew how to turn herself into a new version. Adaptability is not the ability to control everything, but the ability not to lose yourself when everything changes. This is what Jung called the connection with the self, the unchanging center of the soul. Once a person touches that center, they are no longer terrified of upheaval because they know that wherever they are, in whatever situation, they still adaptability, you can try a small exercise. Recall a major change in your life, losing a job, the end of a relationship, or an important plan that failed, and write down 3 things you learned from that change. Then ask yourself, if another upheaval arrives tomorrow, which of these lessons can I apply to move forward? Practicing this regularly will help you realize you have already adapted before, you have already stood up again, and you can do it again. This trust is the root of magnetism, not perfection, but the ability to keep moving in every circumstance. According to you, in A Confident Woman's Journey, How much of her strength comes from steadfastness and how much from adaptability? Share your ratio in the comments. Perhaps the number you choose will reflect how you are moving through life's changes. Number 4. Mystery in boundaries. If adaptability helps a confident woman stand firm amid change, there is another factor that makes her unforgettable: the art of keeping boundaries. Not all power comes from giving. Some magnetism comes from not giving it all. A confident woman understands the value of moderation. She knows how to love deeply, connect genuinely, yet still keep a part of herself no one can touch. And it is precisely this that creates a strange allure. She becomes a mystery, one others long to explore endlessly. Carl Jung once affirmed that love only matures when both maintain the difference of selves. If we completely dissolve into the other, love becomes dependence. The archetype of the mature lover embodies this: to love with deep connection, yet not lose oneself. Jung once wrote, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. And for this transformation to be healthy, each must keep their own self intact." Think of this familiar experience. You once met a woman who didn't text constantly, didn't always appear, yet whenever she replied, even with a short sentence, your heart stirred, your mind flooded with questions. What is she thinking? Why did she say only that? Is she busy, or is she deliberately keeping distance? That small absence plants a space in the man's mind, and in that space, his imagination begins to work. This does not mean a confident woman plays the silent strategy or manipulates emotions. Number. The secret lies in this: she does not lose herself to please anyone. She does not need to text constantly to be reassured, nor does she fear that if she isn't always present, he will leave. That steadiness creates healthy boundaries where love can breathe, grow, and endure. I once heard the story of a woman named Helena. When entering a new relationship, she frankly said, "You can be an important part of my life, but I also have my own world, work, friends, and the things I love." At first, the man felt disappointed. He was used to the clingy kind of love, where both are always together. But then he realized it was precisely Helena's keeping of her own space that made him value the moments with her even more. Because he understood that her love was not dependency, but voluntary choice. In Jungian psychology, boundaries are not only about saying no or keeping distance. They are also about preserving the self. A woman who has not found her boundaries often falls into two extremes, either giving until she is depleted or building walls to protect herself. A confident woman is different. She knows how to open while staying rooted. She gives, but does not vanish. And this balance makes her attractive in a way that is hard to explain. Mystery in boundaries is not a power game, but the way a woman affirms, "I have my own worth, even if no one sees." And precisely because she does not reveal everything, others yearn to discover. Men are not drawn to what is readily available, but to the journey of exploration. A love too predictable, too complete from the start, often fades quickly. But a love with depth, pauses, and a touch of enigma makes him want to step deeper forever. Perhaps you have experienced this in your own life, a relationship where the other person never tried to fill every space. They gave you room to breathe, to miss, to long. And it was in that space that love grew denser. A confident woman understands this well. She knows how to balance giving and keeping, closeness and distance. And the mystery in those boundaries makes her an unknown, one never boring. What can you practice from this secret? Try observing how you are loving. Are you giving so much that you lose yourself? Or are you building walls too high, making it hard for others to reach? The first step is to listen to yourself. When you feel drained from giving too much, allow yourself to stop. When you feel your heart closed from fear of hurt, try opening just a little. Mature love is neither absolute clinginess nor absolute distance. To shout to impress. With only a warm, steady voice, she could make an entire hall fall silent and listen. People may not remember every word she spoke, but they remember the feeling, safety, steadiness, trust. That is the secret energy Jung described. In the midst of chaos, there is hidden order, and the woman who touches it radiates a peace others long to rest in. What matters is that this serenity is not a strategy. It is not pretending to be quiet to gain respect. If it were only an act, tension would still leak out through the eyes, the tone of voice, or small gestures. True serenity comes from an inner life that has been tempered. A woman who has suffered, fallen, and faced her fears, and instead of letting them harden into resentment, she allowed them to teach her how to be still. This secret energy only arises in a soul that has matured, one that no longer needs to prove anything, but simply is. Imagine this. In a storm, most boats rock violently, but in the depths of the ocean, the water remains still. A confident woman is like that. She doesn't deny the storm, but she doesn't let it carry her away. She touches her depth, the quiet ground where her inner order remains intact. From there, she radiates peace, calming even those who are panicking. In relationships, This quality is especially clear. A man may be overwhelmed by work stress or life's burdens. Yet, stepping into the space of a confident woman, he unconsciously feels his heart ease. Not because she has all the answers, but because her serenity reminds him there is still solid ground, still a rhythm to hold on to. He feels without knowing, if she can remain calm, surely I can too. And that is the secret energy. No words, no grand gestures needed, just a presence that transforms the atmosphere. Importantly, this serenity also makes her more alluring. In a world where everyone hurries, the one who slows down becomes extraordinary. Serenity becomes her unique frequency, an energy wave instantly felt by anyone sensitive. And because it is not spoken about or flaunted, it becomes even more mysterious and unforgettable. You can begin cultivating this quality with small steps. When chaos hits, an urgent email, an argument, bad news, give yourself a few seconds to pause. Take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and observe instead of reacting immediately. That short moment is where serenity is born. Gradually, you will realize you don't need to conquer all chaos. You only need to hold a calm breath, and the outer world can no longer shake you. A confident woman does not flee chaos, nor does she try to control it. She looks directly at it, sees the secret order within, and from there radiates a serenity that captures attention. This is one of the most secret energies confident women carry, an energy that requires no explanation, no display. If you take too long to hold a quiet space amid turbulence, leave in the comments the phrase, "I am serene and confident before the world," as a reminder that this steadiness already exists within you. Number 6. Honesty without apology. When a woman has found serenity in chaos, she steps into another level of energy, rare and even more powerful: honesty without apology. This is not rigid bluntness, nor is it rudeness in communication, but the ability to be fully present with herself and the world. No pretending, no embellishment, no need to apologize for who she is. Most of us were taught from childhood that to be loved we must be obedient, to be recognized we must please, to be accepted we must hide our ugly parts. And so we grow up with a collection of masks. But the confident woman is different. She understands that masks may please others, but never bring real energy. She chooses honesty, even when it is not easy to hear, even when it sets her apart. And that very choice radiates a secret energy few possess: confidence born of truth. Carl Jung once said, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." The confident woman is a living embodiment of this. She does not allow past experiences, society's expectations, or others' judgments to define her. She chooses to be herself, and from there, she no longer needs to apologize if her truth makes others uncomfortable. This honesty has a special magnetism. When you stand before a woman who hides nothing, you instantly feel a release. You no longer have to strain to guess what is real or fake. You no longer worry that her words are merely to please. You know, here you are facing a whole person, and that builds trust, because only truth creates the foundation for real connection. I once heard the story of a shareholders' meeting. While many people were cleverly hiding risks behind numbers, one female CEO stood up and said, "The situation right now is difficult. The company is losing money, and we need to change strategy immediately." At first, the atmosphere was heavy. Some were afraid, society, honesty has become a rare delicacy. While people are busy polishing themselves to look perfect in others' eyes, the woman who dares to live authentically becomes a different frequency, and that difference creates a secret energy, one unspoken yet unforgettable. You can begin cultivating this energy with small steps. When someone asks, "Are you okay?" instead of automatically replying, "I'm fine," say the truth. "I'm a bit tired today," or "I'm worried about work." By daring to voice that small truth, you are already taking a big step, no longer apologizing for your real self. Gradually, confidence sprouts from that honesty. The confident woman is not one who has never stumbled, but one who dares to live authentically after it all. She does not apologize for her past, nor for her differences. She stands tall, head high, and lets truth speak for her. And that truth creates a secret energy that no one who encounters it can forget. Perhaps the secret magnetism of the confident woman is like the moon in the night sky, not as dazzling as the sun, but enough to make every gaze turn upward, silent and remembering. She doesn't need to prove, doesn't need to flaunt, because it is her quiet, truthful, inner steadiness that sets her apart. What makes others remember her is not promises or performances, but the feeling of safety, authenticity, and mystery they received in her presence. And if you have ever wondered why there are women who don't need to speak much, yet still draw others' attention, the answer lies in the 6 qualities Jung revealed: presence, reconciliation with the shadow, adaptability, the art of boundaries, serenity, and honesty without apology. That is the journey of a soul that has stopped seeking light outside and begun to light from within. If you also long to find this secret energy, like the video as a gentle reminder that true magnetism does not come from straining to become someone else, but from confidence when you dare to be yourself. And if your heart still longs to go deeper into the hidden layers of the soul, subscribe and journey with the channel. For Carl Jung's messages are not just knowledge, but a doorway guiding you back to yourself. comes when one connects with the self, the center of the psyche, where both light and shadow are reconciled. A woman who touches the self is no longer caught up in the ego's game, winning, losing, gaining, losing, praise, blame. She does not need to measure herself against others to see her worth. When praised, she does not rejoice hastily. When criticized, she is not shaken. Her value is not placed in the world's hands, but in the rooted peace that has taken deep root within. Picture a family gathering. Amid lively laughter and voices, many people compete to brag about achievements, debate heatedly to prove their point. In the midst of it all, she simply sits, smiling, listening patiently. She does not cut in to win any conversation, nor tries to score points. Yet strangely, her calmness makes those nearby begin to speak more slowly, soften their tone, even choose gentler words. No one told them to do so, but her silent energy adjusted the entire atmosphere. This is the paradox of secret energy. Precisely when she does not compete, she becomes the most captivating. The world outside is already too noisy, where people chase titles, gazes, and compliments. Thus, when a woman simply is herself, without comparison or struggle, she becomes like a cool stream in a thirsty desert. Anyone who comes near feels revived. In Jungian psychology, this state is the energy of presence. The woman who does not compete does not seek to be above anyone, because she knows value does not lie in comparison. She exists like a mountain standing tall in a valley, unmoving, unshowy. Yet it is that very stillness that makes the clouds and winds swirl around it. This image can be likened to a candle in the dark. It does not shine to overshadow, nor tries to take the place of other candles. But by its quiet glow, it illuminates a corner of the room, making those nearby feel safer. The non-competing woman is the same. She does not need to win the game of light, yet her subtle presence makes others feel at peace. If you have ever been near such a woman, you will notice yourself wanting to slow down, breathe deeper, and unconsciously return to your own roots. For her allure lies not in proving, but in the simple truth. She does not need competition to feel whole. And perhaps that is why such a woman always leaves an indelible mark. Not because she stands out instantly, but because she reminds others of something profound. Peace can indeed be found within themselves. Beside her, one feels no pressure to perform, no fatigue in life's hidden races, but only a resting place, a space to return to. That stillness is the true secret, for it cannot be faked nor borrowed. It only comes when a woman dares to step outside comparison, dares to stop competing to return to her authentic self. And then, the strange thing is, when she stops trying to prove, the world sees her presence more clearly. When she no longer needs to win, others are drawn closer to her. When she does not chase the light finds her. This is the paradox of inner magnetism. The more she lets go, the more she becomes the natural center. Such a woman is like a quiet harbor, where weary ships always want to return, not to anchor forever, but to remember that amidst life's turbulent seas, there is still calm water where they can find themselves again. Number 2. Self-energy, when she defines value in her own way. If stillness allows a woman to become captivating without entering any competition, then self-energy takes that allure further. For here, she not only rests peacefully in her presence, but also knows how to define her value in her own way. This makes her no longer dependent on society's measures, to affirm her worth. Carl Jung called this the journey of individuation, the process of becoming oneself. It is when one dares to remove the persona, the social mask, to live fully as their authentic being. When walking her own path, she is no longer ruled by norms like, a good woman must be this way, or a happy woman must be that way. Instead of following pre-made formulas, she chooses for herself what is meaningful, what is worth living for, and what truly brings joy. As Jung once said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. In life, most of us grow up under endless expectations about marriage age, career success, and milestones that must be reached to be deemed settled. For women, the pressure is even heavier. How beautiful must one be to be considered beautiful? Marrying late is easily labeled leftover. Choosing independence is often seen as strange. But a woman with self-energy does not step into that game. She does not need to win in society's hidden race because simply she chose not to participate. Her path may be a career, a lifestyle, or simply a different way of living. While society glorifies wealth, she chooses minimalism, focusing on experiences rather than possessions. She was not standard, dressed simply, sometimes absent-minded, but carried a fierce passion for art. On dates, instead of chatting about trendy movies, she passionately described the oil painting project she was working on. He said, "That very difference made her unforgettable. She didn't live to be liked, she lived for her own fire, and that flame spread to me." If you have ever felt different, don't rush to see it as a disadvantage. On the contrary, that very difference is the secret energy that makes you unique. When you are strong enough to live according to yourself, you will realize you don't need to run a race, You already carry your own magnetism, the magnetism of a self that cannot be duplicated. This is self-energy, the ability to define your value without letting society decide it. The woman with this energy does not need to compete because she has not even stepped into the arena. And precisely because she is outside the game, she is free and she becomes light. Jung once wrote that the greatest privilege of a lifetime is becoming yourself. A woman who has touched this privilege leaves an indelible impression anywhere, because she does not just live, she lives as a living proof of freedom. And you, if you could choose one thing to define your own worth, instead of letting society decide, where would you begin? Share it in the comments, because your answer might inspire someone else who is learning how to live as themselves. Number 3. The energy of refusal, daring to say no without guilt. When self-energy helps her stand firm on her own values, refusal energy becomes the protective boundary, ensuring that freedom is not stolen. A woman who does not compete is not passive, nor is she lacking ambition, but because she knows how to set boundaries, what belongs to her and what she does not need to carry. By daring to say no without guilt, she keeps her energy from being wasted on meaningless races. Carl Jung emphasized that a mature ego is one that can clearly distinguish what belongs to oneself and what belongs to others. When one is not yet mature, they are easily swept away by outside expectations and needs, carrying burdens that are not theirs. But once the process of individuation unfolds, a woman knows how to stand in the center of her being, from which she sets wise boundaries, what is truly valuable, and what are society's hidden traps. In daily life, this is most visible in the ability to refuse. She can refuse office gossip just to score points with her boss, because she knows that energy brings nothing but fatigue. She can refuse trendy invitations to save time for her creative project. She can also refuse to carry others' emotions when she knows that doing so only makes both heavier. Refusal is not selfishness, it is wisdom, for she understands her energy must be preserved for what truly matters. In literature, we may recall Antigone in Sophocles' Greek tragedy. Antigone dared to say no to King Creon's decree forbidding the burial of her brother. While all of Thebes trembled, she chose to honor her sacred boundary, loyalty to family and divine law. Her no was not rebellion for power, but a defense of her deepest values. And it was precisely that refusal that made her an immortal symbol of pride and freedom. The non-competing woman in real life is similar. Her allure does not come from compromise to please everyone, but from the courage to stop, to choose, and to say no to violations of her essence. The striking thing is, daring to refuse also means she is unafraid of being disliked. Society often praises women who sacrifice, who endure to keep others happy. But a woman mature in non-competing energy understands that if she must trade herself to be liked, that liking is worthless. As Jung once wrote, "Boundaries are not erected to offend others, but to protect one's inner world." When she dares to say no, she is also saying yes to her authentic self. And in that clarity, she becomes captivating in a different way. Others feel both challenged and admiring of her firm boundaries. They realize she is not cold or selfish, but protecting her inner flame, the very thing that allows her to keep creating, loving, and living fully. In a world where most women are still taught to please everyone, a woman who dares to refuse becomes a rare embodiment of freedom. Refusal energy not only sets her apart, but also creates a field that makes those near her re-examine their own limits. They begin to ask, how many times have I said yes just to please? And how many times have I lost myself by not daring to say no? By living with clear boundaries, she unintentionally becomes a mirror, reminding others of the primal freedom everyone has, but few dare to keep. In the noisy world of competition, her refusal is the strongest affirmation. She doesn't need to win in someone else's game. She has already won by stepping off the board. And that is the secret of non-competing energy. Touched people's hearts through her humanity. Jung once said, "Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people." When a woman understands and accepts her shadow, she becomes a safe place for others. Men are drawn to such women not because they are perfect, but because in her presence they see their own shadows illuminated and no longer frightening. In a Jungian therapy session, a woman sat silently before her analyst. Her face still bore traces of stormy years, a broken marriage, betrayal, and raising her child alone. She had long pretended to be fine like everyone else, but realized that pretending only deepened the pain. This time, instead of hiding, she let the sleepless nights, the tears, and helpless moments step into the light. The analyst witnessed transformation. Darkness no longer consumed her, but became material for a quiet strength. In the way she sat, in her tired yet shining eyes, radiated both fragility and resilience. Her willingness to face her shadow without competing, without proving, gave her an extraordinary presence, one that made others stop, listen, and feel captivated without knowing why. Paradoxically, her darkness did not weaken her but became the very material of her light. Others fear failure, loss, or wounds, but she accepts them calmly. For only by touching fragility can she build the foundation of resilience. And that is what makes her presence rare. Not a perfect image, but authenticity strong enough to make others feel safe to be themselves. In a world where everyone wears bright masks, courage to face the shadow becomes a silent power. That power does not need to show off, nor join endless races. It arises from within, spreading outward like a magnetic field that makes others slow down, listen, and reflect. This is the secret of the non-competing woman. She does not strive to surpass others, but surpasses her own fear, and that is the deepest victory. Among hundreds of women who hide their pain to keep up appearances, only a few dare to sit with their shadows and find their secret strength, the energy that makes them captivating without competing. If you are one of them, leave a comment. I have found strength in the dark. Let it be a reminder that you are turning wounds into light and stepping into the secret energy Jung once spoke of. Number 5. Connecting energy, lifting others instead of pushing them down. A woman's allure is not always about her individual radiance. Some women are unforgettable not because they shine the brightest, but because they make everyone around them shine more. This is connecting energy, the secret of a woman who does not compete. Instead of seeing others as rivals to surpass, she sees them as seeds to be nurtured, as puzzle pieces to be placed correctly, so the whole picture becomes complete. In a world full of rivalry, her presence brings a rare feeling, both peace and inspiration, both safety and the drive to grow. In Jungian psychology, this is the nurturer archetype, the energy these women embody. They are like fertile soil where others feel safe to grow. The non-competing woman doesn't need to win, for her value lies not in being above, but in creating a space where others can shine too. It is this generosity that creates a quiet but enduring magnetism. I once knew a female manager in a media company. When her team had a big project, instead of seizing the chance to present to the board herself, she gave it to younger colleagues. She even spent many evenings coaching them, opening creative approaches. The result, the presentation exceeded expectations, and the recognition went to her teammates. But what everyone remembered was not the presentation, but the manager standing at the back, smiling with pride. She did not compete by lifting herself, but touched everyone's hearts by lifting others. This story is not unique. We see this energy in everyday women. A sister who teaches her sibling instead of fearing being outshined, a colleague who shares her know-how instead of hoarding secrets, a mother who encourages her child to take a different path instead of forcing them to repeat her unfinished dream. These small acts create great resonance because when a woman stops competing, she becomes a center for connection and support. Perhaps that's why teams with such women always feel stronger. They are like the axle that keeps the wheel turning smoothly. Without grabbing the spotlight, they still become the anchor others trust. The paradox is, precisely when they don't fight to win, they become the biggest winners, for they create sustainable teams, lasting relationships, and memories that endure. Imagine a great tree in the forest. It does not need dazzling flowers to prove its presence, nor compete with smaller trees. Its wide canopy gives shade, its deep roots draw water to enrich the land, letting saplings grow, birds nest, and creatures thrive. for her allure lies in her ability to bring something new into the world. Her magnetism lies in not being confined to others' games. The world may say there is only one road to success, but she sees many. Jung noted, "The creation of something new is not accomplished by the intellect, but by the play instinct acting from inner necessity." Precisely because she does not compete, she keeps the freedom to play, experiment, and forge her way. A vivid example is Coco Chanel. In her time, fashion was fiercely competitive in creating elaborate gowns to display status. Instead of entering that race, Chanel created a new style, minimalist, elegant, prioritizing comfort and practicality. She did not compete to be beautiful by existing standards. She created a new beauty ideal. That difference made her timeless, proof of creative power in a non-competing woman. We also see it in female entrepreneurs who, instead of climbing the corporate ladder dominated by men, founded their own companies, innovating and building unique value. They didn't need to win in someone else's game. They wrote their own rules. Creativity isn't only in business or art. It exists in simple life. A mother who, instead of forcing her child into cutthroat education systems, creates a flexible environment for exploration. A wife who, instead of competing for power in marriage, transforms family into a dialogue space where both are heard. An artist who, instead of chasing recognition on charts, patiently builds a unique style, later becoming irreplaceable. The truth is, creative energy always accompanies inner freedom. A woman still haunted by the need to prove herself cannot create. She worries whether society will approve. The non-competing woman, having passed through stillness, selfhood, boundaries, and shadow, now has the foundation to let go of comparison. And in letting go, her creativity is freed. Ultimately, creative energy is proof of the secret. She doesn't need anyone's share because she is strong enough to create her own. And that unique creation is what makes her a living symbol of freedom and magnetism. That explains why creative women are unforgettable, not because they try to stand out, but because they open possibilities never seen before. Their presence is like a doorway, showing others there is another way to live, another world to explore. In her non-competing nature, she gives herself and life a priceless gift. Freedom to create, freedom to be different, freedom to be herself. If you too believe true power lies not in competing but in creating, leave a like on this video. Who knows? One small act today may inspire creativity in another woman. Perhaps the greatest gift creativity gives the non-competing woman is not just new paths, but the door to freedom, where she no longer needs masks, but can live wholly as herself. Number 7. The energy of freedom, unbound by social masks. One of the deepest secrets of the non-competing woman is this: she does not need to perform to be accepted. She has passed through stillness, selfhood, boundaries, shadow, and creativity. And now she reaches freedom, no longer tied to the social mask Jung called the persona. In psychology, persona is the role we wear to fit norms: the good girl, the dutiful wife, the agreeable colleague, the sweet girlfriend. These roles earn acceptance, but at the cost of losing the true self. The non-competing woman has grown enough to remove that mask. She is no longer obsessed with pleasing everyone, but dares to show her real self, even if it doesn't fit society's expectations. Her secret allure comes from this freedom. In her presence, others sense energy that is unforced. She can laugh loudly when happy, be silent when needed, speak plainly when wrong is seen, and be tender when she wishes. She does not try to be sweet all the time for love, nor force perfection for respect. It is this authenticity that creates irresistible magnetism. A female writer once shared her story. While many of her peers wrote to sell, she told the rawest tales of her own life: broken marriage, unnamed pains, hidden desires. At first, she was seen as strange. But over time, it was her honesty that created deep resonance with readers. Freedom energy also appears in daily life. It may be a woman speaking truth in a meeting, a mother admitting to her child she sometimes feels tired, or a girlfriend saying, "I'm not okay today," instead of pretending with a smile. These simple acts create a powerful presence. When one lives authentically, they give others permission to do the same. Carl Jung once wrote, "Freedom stretches only as far as the limits of our consciousness." The non-competing woman, by facing her shadow and shedding her mask, has expanded those limits. No longer driven by social expectation or haunted by others' gaze, she shapes her life with authenticity. Interestingly, this freedom does not make her careless or rebellious. On the contrary, she is more connected with life, having dropped her defenses. The non-competing woman need not strain to win society's game, because she has stepped outside it. And in this comfort, she becomes easy to be around, lightening others simply by her presence. Freedom energy. For attention, but that her sincerity cannot be borrowed. In a world rushing to prove worth, she chooses slowness, stillness, and her own space. That choice makes her a rare anchor, a place where others are reflected, lifted, and reminded that they too can be whole without comparison. And when she does this, her presence will be remembered longer than any victory. If this video touched you, share it, for somewhere out there a woman may need the reminder that she is strong and profound enough to be an unforgettable mark in someone's heart. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to journey with us in